Now, when you see, let me admit them. Okay. Now, let me see the waiting room. Admit all. Right. You can join those who are joining us from home with a slight challenge. But anyway, if you have any questions, please pose your questions and then I will respond. Right. We were talking about the number that you have. Don't take the value of x here. Don't take a very big number or take the power of x as a fraction. If you use a fraction here, it will be more complicated. Unless you are so good at using your calculator, no problem, but it will give you fractions. Now, I advise that for any other point, take this one being a whole number, being a negative whole number or a positive whole number, but don't take this one to be a fraction. Any more cries there? Right, now let us move on. Now, let us look at the example 2. Sketch the graph of. Now, with an interesting one. Step number 1, determine the shape of the graph. Now, on determining the shape of the graph, I would rather say, in the textbook, they gave it this way, but I would give it my own way because we have one point. This one, they use it as a point number, step number 4. What is our line of asymptote? What is our line of asymptote of this one? -3. Since it is -3, you come and put -3 here. From this -3, you are actually saying, this is where I have my line of asymptote. That is where I would start from. Now, starting from any other, it helps. But as my learners, I want you to start there. Y is equal to -3. You have your line of asymptote. Right. Now you determine what is the value of A? -1. Since it is -1, the fact that it is -1, what does that mean? The graph is it above or below the line of asymptote? It is below, right? The fact that it is negative right here. The fact that it is a negative, it means to say our graph is not above, it will be below. Now, since it is below, our graph it could be something like this or like that. Now, let us look at it. If we look at B, we are saying now it could be, it is below there, or it could be something like this or that. Now let us look at the value of B. How is B? Positive, right? Since it is positive, is this graph increasing or decreasing? Is it increasing? Sorry? Sorry? Decreasing. Now, if it is decreasing, it means to say our graph will be something like this. Yo. I'm trying. Because it must not be a straight line. Hello?
So B is increasing because A is negative.
Yes. Yes. because A is negative. Perfect. Are you following? Now, after getting this one, we are saying our graph will be like this. This one continues there, and then, but we know it cuts somewhere. Right, what do we do? Determine the, is the graph increasing or decreasing? So we say the graph is decreasing. So it will be like this, right? If it was increasing, it was going to be like that. Step number 3, determine the y-intercept. How do you find the y-intercept? On our graph, on our equation, we've got y is equal to what? Negative, this is 2 to the power x minus 3. Right. Now, if you want to find the y-intercept, x is what? 0. If x is 0, what are you saying? Y is going to be 2 to the power 0. What does that give us? 1. Now, since this one is going to give us a 1, minus 1 minus times a positive, negative. So negative 1, negative 3, negative 4. So you are actually saying this graph here will cut at negative 4. Let me stop there for a while. Are you following? This graph will cut the y-axis at negative 4. Now they say to determine the horizontal asymptote. The horizontal asymptote, we already worked it out. So our graph is something like this. Anyone with a question pertaining to what I have said so far? Are you following? Yes. Zero is to negative 4. Right, because this one has a coordinate. We said the y-intercept, it means to say x is 0, right? What is the value of y? Negative 4. So these are the coordinates. It is this one. No, if they say determine the y-intercept, you just write it like this. But if they say determine the coordinates of the y-intercept, if they say coordinates, you must write it like this. If they say determine the points, you write it like this. But if they just say determine the y-intercept, you can leave it here, no problem. You need to understand the language of your subject. Are you following? If they say point, in coordinate form, coordinates, it should be like this. I'm getting the point. Now, on finding the shape of this, we had, let me, because here we did not look at, we did not take any point to determine the shape. It's y is equal to negative 2 to the power x. Just take any point which will help you determine, because now we've got this point. Where do we have the other one? Just take any point. Any number, a simple one. 2.
Negative 1.
Sorry? When?
Negative 1.
1. Right. Let us look, because if you are taking a simple number, if we take a simple number like if x is 1, that one is simple. Right? We are saying 2 to the power 1, what does that give us? It's 2, right? 2 times negative 1, negative 2. If it is negative 2, negative 3, what do you get? Negative 5, right? So it means to say, if you have, let us say you have, let me just say a 1, 2, 3. Now, if you take a 1 here, it must be negative. Since it must go on to negative 5. Are you seeing it? So if it is, if you use that number 1, it means to say at 1, -5, it must be something like this. You remember when we're plotting points, right? So it will be somewhere here. This is your next point. So meaning to say with the y-intercept and this other point, your graph will be something like this. Passing through 1, -5. So you've got this one, you know it curves that way. And then you can just continue up to there. Are you following? Yes. Not a pattern as such, but it will give you a shape. If you have you find your coordinates and this one, and you know the shape of the exponential graph that it curves, now you know where it is curving. You know, so meaning to say it is curving this way to give you the shape, right? Very good question. Anyone else? Now, let me go on to the next one. We are going on to example 3. Right, on example 3, we have a situation. Now, sketch the graph of y is equal to 4, 2 to the power negative. This one now is negative, right? Plus 1. First of all, what does this negative mean? Yes. Yes, it's a fraction. If you write this one as a positive exponent, it will be 1 over. It will be 1 over 2. Since it is 1 over 2, all to the power x. Once you know this, you are covered. Are you getting it? Now, from this point, like I said, I would be comfortable instead of starting off with yes,
Also, the formula said that
This
y
one.
is equal to, no, said the one you drew this side. Y is equal to 4 brackets 1 over 2, then you go to the power x. Yes, so isn't it supposed to be 1 over 2 to the power of x, not everything to the power of x?
Right, this power here, negative x, belongs to which one? To everything inside the brackets. Since it belongs to everything inside the brackets, like this, 2 to the power negative x. Can we write this number as a positive exponent?
No.
Can't we?
Oh, we can, as a fraction.
How do we write it?
1 over 2.
1 over 2.
Then to the power of x, 2 to the power of x.
No problem. If you write 2 to the power of x, is there any problem here? 2 to the power of x. 1 to the power of x, does it change anything?
No.
1 to any power, it remains the same. So that is why we are saying this one can be written as 1 over 2, everything to the power.
Yes, but say it's more understandable than that.
No problem. If you have it like this. Now from here, you are saying transforming this one to this, you have no problem. Now, can you not write everything to the power of x?
You can, but it's more easier that way.
It's more easier that way. Right, no problem. No problem. If you are saying it's more easier that way, but you must also know that this one, if written, if raised to the power of x, 1 to the power of x over 2 to the power, 1 to the power of x doesn't change anything. It remains that one, right? So this can be transformed to this, right? Now we are working from here. Now, since we are working from here, we are actually saying, all right, from what we learned, we noticed that, let us look at this one. What is our horizontal asymptote? What is our horizontal asymptote? 1. So is 1 above or below? Above. So we are saying our 1 is here. If you start off with the horizontal asymptote, it becomes easy. They decided to end with this one, maybe because they are learners, they understood it that way. It doesn't matter, right? You have your horizontal asymptote, which is y is equal to what? Y is equal to 1. I would rather prefer to start from there. Y is equal to 1. Now you analyze this one. Our A, what is the value of A? Is 4 positive or negative? Positive. Is the graph above or below? It will be above. Since it is above, it could be something like this or something like that, right? It cannot be below, right? Let us look at this one, half. If B is between 0 and 1, how is our graph going to look like? Curving this way or curving that way? The second one. So we are saying, because this one is a fraction, our graph, since we are sketching, it will curve something like this. It must never touch this line. It draws nearer and nearer. And this part, it goes up like that. Are you getting it? With this one, you have known that it is above. Now, this one, it will curve this way. Is it increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. Minus over positive is decreasing, right? Now, let us find the y-axis intercept. What is the y-axis intercept? If you want to find the y-axis intercept, what is the value of x? Now, if you plug in 0 here, what will it give us? Y, okay. If you plug in 0 here, 1 over 2 to the power 0, what does that give us? 1 times 4, 4 plus 1, 5. So meaning to say, this one, it cuts at what number? At 5. Are you getting it? It is cutting at 5. Right, since it cuts at 5, you have got this intercept where it is cutting at 5. Let us find the other point. If you want to find the other point, you have y is equal to 4, 1 over 2 to the power x plus 1. Now, we've got 1 point. Take another point so that you get the shape of the graph. Which number can you put for x there? Any number, as long as it is reasonable. Don't put negative 20. Negative 3, right? Is negative 3 the simplest? Okay, no problem. Let us use our calculators. We are saying 4/2. You want to use negative 2. Let us use our calculators. Half to the power negative 2, it gives you 4, right? Now, 4 times 4, 16 plus 1, right? You got negative, let us say negative 2 was here, right? So meaning to say, it will go up there until it reaches a 17 somewhere. Until it reaches a 17. So meaning to say, it could be somewhere there. So meaning to say, your line will continue like that up to this number here. Continuing. Are you seeing? Because you've got this point and this point, you can now see the curvature that it goes this way and that. Are you seeing it? Now here you could have used 1. Are you getting it? If you use the 1 or a minus 1, if you use the minus 1, it would have given you something here, a number here, or 1, it could have given you something which is somewhere there, right? Right. Now, the most important thing is always look at the points that you have. Look at the points. These are this is how you sketch your graphs of the, this is how you sketch the graph of the exponential graph. Now, let us look at the other one. In fact, here, find another point which we found, right? Did we sketch our graph? Which one is this now? Is it the same one that we did? No, no, it's not the same as ours. This one, look at ours. Ours is a positive here. This one, theirs is a negative. This was a negative. Okay, now this graph, in fact, I put this one wrongly. It was supposed to be somewhere down here, I think. It is this one. It is this graph. Are you seeing it? Now we worked it out and we never went to the answer that they had. It is this, right? Yes. Now, I think we are done. Right. This is on exercise 8, right? Yes. Your bread is on exercise 8. What page? Page 303. Exercise 8, page 303. Now, this is how you are supposed to work on. Take note, we looked at how to sketch the graph of a parabola, how to sketch a graph of a hyperbola, how to sketch a graph of an exponential graph. Those ones, in grade 10, you'll be required to sketch them as well. In grade 11, it is just food and drink. Worse still in grade 12. Now tomorrow we'll be looking into how to determine the equation of an exponential graph. Now my appeal to you is, please go and work on exercise 8. Try to work it out. If you encounter challenges, please ask on our WhatsApp group so that I can prepare and then answer to you. Yes? Okay, if y is equal to a, b, exponent what? Right, you are saying this b is negative and the exponent is negative, and then you have a plus q. Right, I am not refuting that such questions are there in mathematics. They are there, but not in grade 10, 11, and 12. No. If you want it, you need to analyze. You change this one, that would mean to say this a is going to be a number like negative 1 over b. It will be 1 over b to the power x. You have dealt with this one. It is 1 over b. That is what I said. If at one point you are given this one being negative, not at this level, you won't get it. But if you continue with mathematics, you will, but not 10, 11, and 12. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The question that I asked you, like, where do you use the friction and
Right?
will there be a question like that?
Yeah, definitely. But not meaning to scare you not to take engineering courses. By then, you will have, because this is the foundation. Once the foundation is firm, the building will be strong. Don't be scared to say, yo, now engineering, I won't go for it. No. It will be built bit by bit. By the time you get there, you find that, no, this is simple. Don't be scared. That is why if you ask questions that are beyond our capacity, I automatically tell you, no, not at this level, but in future. So that you don't be scared. This is just the foundation. Right? Yes. Anyone else with a question? Right out there. Let's hope I won't pronounce it wrongly. Zinadine, any questions? Huh? Zinadine.
No, sir, no questions, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. If I pronounced your name wrongly, please forgive me. I will polish up. Okay. Right, this marks, if we don't have any more questions, this marks the end of our today's lesson. Stay blessed and work diligently so. Thank you.